Hey guys, Jason Schnitzer here with O.C Realtor Talk, and what I've got for you on this video is my favorite term in real estate, and what we talk about here all the time is leverage. Why I'm doing this video is I've gotten a lot of inquiries just from listeners, friends in our sphere that follow the channel, just about what the heck do you mean by leverage, Jason? And I'd like to start off by just the definition of leverage as it pertains to real estate, and that's when you use borrowed capital for an investment and you're expecting the profits to be made to be greater than the interest payable. So in other words, you're gonna get more money back from, let's in this case say renting that property out, than you will owe in interest for borrowing that money. And I did a little example here of how we can take advantage of leverage in real estate when we talk about financing properties versus buying properties cash. A lot of times I'll get potential clients ask me like, oh, hey, should I buy property cash? Or, from an investment standpoint, is that smarter? Or should I get financing? And it's my personal belief, especially from a long-term standpoint, it always depends on your situation, of course. If you wanted to be super conservative and you needed to be able to expect a certain return right away on your money and you wanted to invest in real estate, I'd say, hey, if you have the wherewithal to do so, cash is gonna get you that. But in this situation, hypothetically speaking, I took two scenarios. Let's say we invested $1 million in real estate, but we financed, versus if we invested $1 million in real estate and only bought cash. Now, when you buy a house as an investment property, they only require 20% down. So you could potentially, with this $1 million, buy 5 different properties for $1 million each, putting 20% down, that's $200,000 on each, getting $800,000 loan. So for that $1 million, and it's funny, people always talk about, getting rid of debt and living debt free, and they'll preach to you about that. But I'm here to tell you, you want to collect as much debt as you can, but you want to make sure that it's good debt. And what I mean by that is that it's service debt. So in this scenario, I go from having $1 million in my bank account to $0 in my bank account, and having $0 in debt to $3.5 million in debt. Now, for a lot of people, I'm sure that seems like a really silly idea. Like, why would I spend $1 million, have no money in the bank, take on $3.5 million in debt, and basically not have anything to show for it, if you will, in a bank account sense. But what my play is going to be is long term. So I now own $5 million in assets by just leveraging $1 million. And over time, those loans and my debt that I've taken on are going to be paid back by somebody that's going to be renting out my property. Now, in these instances, I just took, for example, let's say we bought a $1 million triplex, just 2-bedroom, 1 baths. And how I use these numbers, it's all hypothetical, is, a typical rent for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath is probably anywhere from $1,800 to $2,000 a month here in California. So I went conservative and said, hey, $1,800 a unit. That's $5,400 a month that each one of these assets is going to be producing, and for the first while going to be servicing, paying off the debt it took me to borrow to obtain these assets. But eventually, once they're all paid off, I'm going to be expecting, and this is, of course, not taking into consideration rent appreciation. I'm just saying, hey, in 30 years or less, depending on how aggressive you are for paying off your debt, what can I expect my return to be monthly for each one of my assets? So $5,400 times 5, that's $27,000 a month. I could live off that. Whereas, you just buy a house cash, which again is still a solid investment. It's more conservative. You're not taking on any debt. And maybe this is better off for somebody that's later on in life and they just want to get a nice conservative return on their investment. and don't have time to wait to take advantage of somebody paying down your principal balance. Again, not a terrible option, but I think it's pretty clear here that over the long run, if you let your real estate work for you, you can see how if you leverage your money, it's going to definitely pay off in the long run, I truly believe. So if you guys have any more specific questions about how this works or how it might look in your own personal real estate portfolio, we'd love to talk to you. Feel free to go online and book a free consultation or just give us a call anytime. And as always, if you guys gain any benefit from this, I'm sure there's other people out there in your lives that might too. So love it when you guys share my content. I'm just looking to help as many people as possible. And the next time you go to make a decision on your most likely your most expensive asset, hopefully I've helped you in some way make the best decision possible that you can for you and your family. So again, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Hey guys, thanks again for watching this week's episode of O.C Realtor Talk. If you gained any value from this video, we'd really appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, and followed us on all our social media platforms.
Yeah, what Jason and I believe is really, really important for you, whether you're buying a house or selling a house, is understanding the process and knowing exactly what you're getting into. So if you ever have any questions, just follow the links below and